with a straggler here. There it is. YouTube is up. There it is. That's what I want. Wanted to make sure everything was right, live, and good. Hey, what's up, guys? Justin R. Harris here. Welcome back to the investments playlist of my channel, Justin R. Harris. You guys know my channel. You guys know my credentials. Has to do with primarily commercial real estate investments, pro formas, all that good stuff for helping you get right on target with your investments, dealing with everything from equity groups to private owners and so forth, and building, their portfolios, whatever their investment portfolio is, from residential multifamily to industrial to restaurant. You want a shopping plaza, I help you put those things together. 1031 exchanges, looking at your projections moving forward, all that good stuff. But you guys know what I like to do here. Here, what I like to do is go even further with that. We talk about the economy, we talk about investments, we get into the market every once in a while, stock market, when I say the market, right? We also dig into, cryptocurrency a little bit. However, that's not been the great conversation right now, so that's definitely not been my conversation. It just looks like a lot of not so good conversation going on with that, not so trendy, the thing to talk about, as people are losing billions right now. It's crazy, billions with a B. Not what I want to talk about. So with that, you guys know what I need you to do for this topic. We're talking about renters. This is the one, right? Renters. We're going to get into this because investors, it is time to play ball. It's time to get in where you fit in. So what I need you to do is go ahead and like, subscribe, follow, get all that stuff out of the way. Facebook, do your like, LinkedIn has the impressions and all that stuff, and follow. If you guys aren't doing that, go over to YouTube and hit the notification and all that gravy stuff, and we get right into it so that I can make sure we're delivering the right product to you, because this is the one. Investors, if you're looking to turn your entire game around, this is it. Two things are happening right now. So with the investment market, okay, if you are a multifamily guy, right, or you're not, let's say you have something small but you're trying to grow big, you're trying to scale up, I'm telling you, now is the time, and here's why. If you look at what happened, people were overpaying for a lot of properties earlier this year. Actually, this time last year, lenders were just throwing money at you. Now it's a little harder to get that money, right? So those who can qualify will qualify. But that doesn't just hurt the investor. Who is it hurting the most of? It's hurting the single family home buyer, right? The first time home buyers. These people, they're getting their butts handed to them. Okay, so what does that mean? Prolonged rental periods. So if they are a longer renter, all right, all that simply means is they need a place to stay. And what happened, before I can move forward with that, you had a lot of landlords upping the rent, right? Now, for more than one reason. One, inflation, right? So the cost of doing business for the landlord went up, so therefore he needed to raise it. For those who didn't need to, they really should not have had to. However, they may have done that just because, right? If you think about it, you can, you will, right? In that industry, your neighboring business, building, so forth, are upping the cost of doing business, right? And their business is packed, right? Then you might want to do the same thing so you can keep up, because eventually costs will start eating you up, right? So you don't want to undervalue your property. Just as much as you may be helping the tenant, you're undervaluing your property, and that's a whole other conversation that you don't want to happen to your property, right? It just looks like something's wrong, is underperforming, is the phrase that is used for something like that. Now, here's a little tidbit for you. A one bedroom, one bath in New York City is approximately $3,800 a month. $3,800 for a one bed, one bath. That makes zero sense. If you're in New York and that's what you're paying, you might want to leave your employment and just come on down to Florida. Listen, a one bedroom, one bath in Florida is $2,500. And I don't know, call me crazy, but if you're going to save almost $1,000, you probably want to go ahead and do that, because $1,000 off your head, and you can still come down here and make the same income. Okay, there's plenty of places hiring. All right, don't get it misconfused. The thing is, it's misconfused, right? It's a new word I just made up, misconfused, because you're either confused with a little misinformation at the same time. All right, so what you need to pay attention to is the fact that it's a lagging indication when they're talking about unemployment here in the U.S., right? So just be careful with that information, because every other place you drive down a block here in Florida, I'm gonna tell you right now, is hiring. All right, they're all hiring. The problem is having a good employee. That's an entirely different conversation. Once again, not going to get into that. I'll leave that for the employment people, right? But it's horrible, right? So you need to come down here if you're looking for work. There's plenty of work. Stop spending way too much to live somewhere. And for what? I don't understand that. Anyway, so moving past that. So right now for landlords, it's blood in the water. Here's why, right? So you have now more people that instead of them going out and buying a home, they have to sit and wait because sellers aren't coming down in their price. For some reason, they want to sit and hold. I don't get that. It doesn't make any sense. So for whatever your initial reason was for selling, you might want to stick to it, right? So what? You got to come down in price. The buyer is who controls the market always, because you can ask for a price all you want. Doesn't mean that's what you're going to get, right? So we can play that game all day long, but it's not worth it. Okay, so that's not something that you actually want to do. But we'll step aside from that for a second. All right, so here's the deal. If you are in the business for buying multifamily properties, start doing that now. If you can get a commercial agent like myself who has the very strong ability of obtaining off-market property information and being able to identify something that you may afford, and we talk to that property owner, I can find out if maybe they're a little behind on their bills, right? And we go over there and we buy them out. That's the way you do it right now. This is the market for something like this. Let's go Christmas shopping, okay? But that's how this is done now, right? Outside of that, for those who are regular listing properties, you're gonna find some that are listed. Prices are a little high. Everything from $190 a door to as much as $240 a door, right? So you're gonna spend a little more for that property because they're like, hey, I'm making my money, so if I have to leave, I'm gonna leave for the right dollar, right? So you're not gonna come in at a 7% cap, right? That's practically a unicorn. They're selling you a 7% cap. First of all, definitely do your due diligence on your numbers for that property to see how it's performing. Make sure they're paying themselves. Make sure you understand the cash on cash, not just the NOI. People stop at NOI. You're foolish if that's where you stop. Okay, you wanna look at cash on cash, look at that IRR, pay attention to that kind of information. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, give me a call. Right? If you do, then that's what you need to pay attention to. All right. Outside of that as well, what you want to do is start scouring, start looking, right? Contact commercial agents, make sure they're not a residential agent playing commercial. Okay. You need people that are seasoned to take care of you. Okay. Another big game that's going to happen real soon. All right. Distressed properties. Pay attention to it for single family homes. There's a lot of portfolio type deals out there where investors are out there jumping on these single family homes, right? And grabbing a multitude of them and then turn around and renting it out. It's the new game. It's not the new game. It's the game. It is the new game on the developed properties. So when you see these new developed properties, they have these rent to own deals now, right? So developers are deciding, you know, we'll hold the note a little longer. We'll stick someone in there that's going to pay rent, maybe get them prepared or capable, because they were capable, but for whatever reason, since the rates have gone up 2 points, we're predicting, you know, that those rates will turn around in 2 years. So in 2 years, you know, that's when we'll make you, you know, a new homeowner again and get you approved with our lender. See, that's a smart plan. You get them in there and you start locking them down. You turn that home into a rental home. There's nothing wrong with that. You're not losing value in the property. Now those properties become income producing. If you're a smart developer, that's the game you start playing, as long as your investors are okay with sitting and waiting as opposed to trying to collect early. But because they can't collect early, that means you got a lot of properties that are making $0, and that's a whole lot of no money, right? So let's not do that. So those are the smart directions you need to go in. But you know, I didn't want to miss a topic that was a rumor floating around, and it's horrible, and it's a whole conversation about diesel fuel. What are you guys talking about? Stop with the fake rumors about diesel fuel. Yes, we're at a low usage as far as diesel fuel is concerned because prices are up. It's $1 and change more than regular gasoline, right? So yes, those numbers go down, but if you pull the historicals, that we've been at this rate several times before. All right, so this is not something that is coming out of left field. We're not about to have some sort of dramatic shutdown by Thanksgiving Day that there isn't going to be diesel fuel. Stop it. right? Now, there are some skepticism out there as far as on the political side, people that like to play the political game that, oh, the Republicans are going to do this and, oh, the Democrats are going to do this as far as fuel and as far as the economy. Listen, you can't control any of that. Who cares? You just be ready when it's time for you to make the move that you need to make, right? And going green, don't get sold on that 100%. Listen, the United States infrastructure is not set up for everyone to go green. There's more cars than there are homes out there. So for all of a sudden, every car dramatically just started becoming an electric car, how much of that would shut down these rolling blackouts that are happening in places like California? Really? Let's have some common sense here for a second. Some of these states don't have the infrastructure to handle the entire state being a green state. They're not ready for that. Okay, and the only partial solution to something like that is maybe that the home is solar, so everyone can do solar at their homes, charge their vehicles, and then go on with their merry little lives. But there's another cost, okay? But that's the only way. But as far as the infrastructure holding something like that is for a grid, let's not even get into the fact that condo communities, stuff like that, they need three-phase power possibly to be able to support that kind of demand power on the building, to be able to support it if every person in the condo building is using a car charger. You're just putting an entirely different power grid demand on that building that people aren't even talking about yet. You know why? Because they have no clue. They don't understand the engineering side of that. So like I said, I just want to cover that and just get your heads out of the grass with this whole let's go 100% green thing. There's going to have to be some here and some there, right? Listen, if 50% or 30% of America is green, that's going to change the global economy, the global environment as far as environmentalists are concerned, drastically, okay? So let's just not get crazy. Let's get smart. Let's plan ahead. Let's do the right things that are gonna make the right steps. That's the information I want to drop, primarily to my investors out there, because you guys know what we're focusing on here. There's blood in the water, guys. Let's go buy up some properties, okay? See you guys.